Siamo ad Alessandria d'Egitto, è il 9 ottobre 2010 e siamo appena arrivate dal Cairo, stiamo andando alla Biblioteca Alessandrina, c'è un evento organizzato per una cultura di pace. Alessandria si presenta come una bella città, direi pulita, fresca e accogliente. Siamo nel centro della città.
Credo parla solo l'arabo. Ci sforziamo nemmeno. Domani prendiamo la campagna. Perché? Sì. È bellissima, è bellissima.
Caffè della pace, la pace.
Dobbiamo venire a piedi, ci veniamo a prendere il tè.
Traffico. Sono le 5 del pomeriggio.
Prima pure non sentivi che papi, loro fanno come Campania, in Sicilia e Napoli. Passano e suonano.
Tutto il mondo è paese.
Dopo ci compriamo, io spero che fanno bene. Poi adesso vedete.
Questa è la Biblioteca Alessandrina da fuori. Con sullo sfondo il mare e il viale principale di Alessandria.
È verde. Devo tenerlo sempre premuto? Il rosso lo devo tenere sempre premuto?
Sì, ciao. Ma si sente quello che dici? Ma si scema. Biblioteca Alessandrina.
Questa è la Biblioteca Alessandrina. È un fungo stranissimo che è tutto pieno di mosaico. E Gabriella lo sta toccando. E Gabriella lo sta toccando, ho detto.
È chiuso, amore, lo vedi che cosa lo...
different scenes, and by chance some of these scenes are Christians, because this one was used to, or it was intended to be sold for pilgrims who are traveling to Jerusalem. Another characteristic feature just as we mentioned in Islamic art, is the use of calligraphy or the use of inscription as a decorative motive. Here we can see the first piece, or the focusing on the part of a piece, is a water sprinkler, and it is mainly decorated with inscription actually, and there is a variety of types of inscription. One of them in the center, for example.
When you were talking about the difference between the architecture on the outside and the decorative arts inside, one of the things I've always wondered is, from the inception of the architect, did they ever think in the beginning of what the ultimate end use of the decoration inside would be?
Ti sto riprendendo, Federico, grazie per questa opportunità di avermi invitato alla Biblioteca Alessandrina.
È un nostro onore, è mio onore per la sua grande associazione il Mandir della Pace, e qui c'è la grande artista Madame Naima Shishini, che molte volte è venuta a Roma all'Accademia d'Egitto, ma lei ovviamente in tutto il mondo. Questo è il suo catalogo con le sue opere. È una grande pittrice, e questa è la sua ultima mostra.
Sarà felice quando verrà.
Speriamo di averla in Italia. 40 anni d'arte. Ora andiamo.
El Shafai have been very, very helpful in making all the arrangements for me to come here today. Actually, I arrived yesterday, and it was Minnesota, Amsterdam, Athens, Cairo, and then Alexandria. So I've also developed this presentation especially for you, so it's reasoning of ideas and inspired inquiry, I'd like to think that. One focus of my work as an artist, a teacher, I teach at the University of Minnesota in the Department of Art, and a woman of Greek heritage, has been an investigation of written documents and images. And I love this image, which is by a contemporary artist called The Library of Non-History. And Hans, we were talking about the rewriting of history last night. Another image today, although I find this quite a good irony, that here we have Abraham serving food that Sarah has prepared. Even today, though, the titles of the images often omit the presence of the women in the image. Such is the case, surely, is alluded to in the Quran, but her name is not mentioned. We know of her indirectly through the eyes of Abraham. Hagar is Hagar in the middle, with the sons Isaac and Ishmael and Abraham. But Sarah's beauty causes her still to be abducted in times double-edged nature of hospitality, philoxenia, which is and it is a very complex practice. Describes the expression, make yourself at home, as a self-limiting invitation. Please feel at home, but remember this is not your place. And these series of emblemata which are there. This particular mosaic, and also as what they were originally called in the early Byzantine period, but they're called Abraham and San Vitale in Ravenna from the 6th century. All again period. Beautiful stories. And also, of course, the place where Dante died, so we'll get to Dante in a minute. But Theodora. Now, Theodora, who was the wife of Justinian, was often scorned for her humble origin, although she survived literally by her well past childbearing age, will have a child. Sarah laughs. In fact, the child that she bears, Isaac, a stranger, was the daughter of an Egyptian king who gifted Hagar to Abraham as a wife when Pharaoh thought that he climbs 2 mountains to search for water. After her 7th climb, the archangel Gabriel rescued her. There are several verses. Son. Am I going backward? This image, and this is a pillar known as Latzwai on the Dead Sea on the Jordanian side. Now, that last image that I showed you, hold on. We have a very rare paper in itself. Now, here I've inserted one of my own works, brought out her elder sister Mary Rachel. So in this image we see Rachel by Gabrielle Rosé, the idols of her father with her when they left. And again, this is beautifully celebrated in this work by Chagall, where funeral monument done by Michelangelo for Pope Julius II. It was intended to originally go in the right here you see her with the white cloak, using a friend of his as a model. The recent film about Hypatia, Agora, which is directed out of metaphors. As I said, I try and combine and rework images with a variety of media. So while to reconcile comes from about 6,500 BCE, and it was found during a road building project near Amman in the 1970s. The architecture of this area presentation, she's noted for her wealth, intelligence, and beauty. Now, Eusebius, who is a father of church history, writes around 320 of the Roman Emperor Maxentius, who we heard again today in another context, and was punished by banishment and confiscation. Broke. Now, I don't know if you can see in this image by Caravaggio where the wheel is broken, and the spikes supposedly flew off and killed some of the pagan onlookers. She was then, body was carried by angels to Mount Sinai, where I understand you all visited last year, where the Church of Alexandria on the right, both who literally lost their heads for their faith. Christians, the image on the right, is often depicted arguing with,
as you can bring it forward into